once again to another episode of Big Talk from the Little House. I'm Pete Onofrio, and I am here today with Jen Greenwald from Jedi Students from
Jai Yoga
I
Center.
always do that with you. I always say Jedi because Jedi, you're my Jedi member friend community, but Jai Studios.
We have a Jedi pass, but from Jai Yoga.
Yep, it's exciting to have you here again. Thank you for coming. So, quick update on the energies of the world, right? Holy moly.
Holy moly.
I mean, there's so much going on. It's so, it feels like such a pace is picking up and things are coming at us quicker and quicker. It can almost feel completely overwhelming. I feel, I've been trying to do this cleanse. I've been doing a fasting, intermittent fasting for about 2 weeks now, and actually 3 weeks, and I've come back to it from doing it about a few months ago. And when I tell you the pounds fly off and cellular regeneration, like intermittent fasting has been amazing for me, as well as I've been using this product called Shilajit, which is a Himalayan biomass that comes from these flowers that grow on the base of the Himalayan mountains, and much like tree sap, it comes up to the surface of the earth once a year, and they can harvest this, and it's got all the minerals. Like there's 4 minerals missing, but 4 minerals of the 36 of the essential minerals are in this Shilajit, and it increases your brain energy. It increases your vitality. I just feel a lot more energy with less calories in and more minerals. And I was doing some research on it when I was doing some research for my daughter's type 1 diabetes, and they were saying that minerals are really essential to the body's organ health. So I've been doing that, and I also know that about 6 months ago, you brought to my attention the live water, and that's what we're here kind of to talk about today.
That's
so we also have, and you brought a friend with you today, right?
Did.
And Elizabeth Morgan, Liz Morgan. How you doing, Liz? And she's here. She's talking about the continuous electrolysis water generator, right?
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into this because Jen, you hipped me to this about 6 weeks ago, and I had 2 cases of it, and I was just about ready to. I felt like I had a cold coming on. So when I first started taking this water, I remember it really kind of sucked the life out of me, and I was like, "What's happening here?" But I came back around the other side, and I started to kind of just feel on top of the intermittent fasting and the Shilajit, I started to feel another level of just vivaciousness and energy. And there was things that were going on that I'm still so new to this. So that's why we wanted to bring Liz in to kind of give us an update on why and how this water is working. So how can we get into this? I mean, can you tell us your backstory, Liz, on how this happened?
Yeah, so I mean, it could get really lengthy. I will just keep it short. I got out of the military in about end of 2018. I was in the Air Force. And I was just looking for something purposeful. I was looking for a way to help people. I was looking for a way to help myself. And I stumbled across this certain type of water that I had never, ever, ever heard about before. And I come from the bodybuilding world. I come from the fitness world. I went to school for dietetics and nutrition. I was that chick that was always carrying around a gallon of water with her everywhere. And I was always, or so I thought, very hydrated. I had a lot of brain fog. I had low energy. I dealt with IBS and digestive issues. And I just kind of took these things as like, it's just normal. It's just part of life. You know, I'm ADHD. It is what it is. I'm on a medication. And I think a lot of people are in that state of just, this is just the cards I've been dealt. This runs in my family. This is how it is. And a lot of people are waking up right now like, no, that's actually not how it is. We can do things to heal ourselves. We don't have to have these certain, I guess, generational curses, you could call them, or, you know, we can really take things into our own hands through nutrition, through food, and we're finding through water. And water, in fact, is sort of this missing piece or missing link people don't even realize they're missing. And I know it was for me, and that's why I'm so adamant about sharing this information, because I was doing everything food-wise, supplement-wise, and I still had IBS. And I stumbled across this water, I start drinking it, and all of those symptoms went away. And it turns out I don't actually have that condition. I just wasn't drinking the right kind of water. So that's kind of how it all happened for me, and why I share the things I do.
And I was going to say, like, I think I had a similar experience as Liz, and many people that we share the water with have similar experiences. But as you know, I teach Kundalini. A lot of times people will, tell me this healing or that healing or whatever. Even when it came to the water, and I always had this notion. I'm like, I do the Kundalini. I do a lot of breath work. I do a lot of meditation, balancing the energies in my body. Like I'm good. And someone had, I would say for a while, like there was like a good year, was bringing the water around, and I kept being like, no, I'm good. I wasn't necessarily having any outstanding health conditions. And again, I think as Liz pointed out, it's something that you're just kind of numb to. You just accept, okay, I can feel scattered in life. My energy runs low in life. Like just things. You just think this is what it is to be human. And someone brought the water to me, and I can't remember if you just said this, but like I didn't feel good the first couple of days I drank it. And I personally just wasn't associating it to the water. I was like, maybe I'm getting sick, I wasn't sure. But I did notice every time I drank the water, there was like a little bit of nausea. There's a little bit of like, I wasn't sure. And then I realized, I was like, this water's detoxing me. Because I realized it felt like a detox. And then day 3, like I went to
boom, you pushed on through to the other side. Yeah, I love it. And one of the things that we've done up here at Blue Star over the years is we've Sequoia, who we talk about quite a bit on the program, he did some work with Masaru Emoto, who did Messages in Water. And this is a study, a scientific study that essentially talked about how we can change the molecular structure of water just by what we think and say around it. So every thought, word, and action really has an effect on the natural world around us, and as well as we're generators for what we're putting out into the world. So it's it's really important, from what I've been taught, to be vigilant with your thoughts. So when you're able to put a water like this into people's hands, which I'm just starting to understand how powerful this is, on top of like positively, thanking the water. When I drink, I have this ritual. Well, I'll take 3 gulps and I'll pull a big amount into my mouth and I'll swallow 3 times. 1 is great thanks. The second swallow is great peace. And then the third swallow is great thanks, great peace. And the third one is great love. So I can feel it just moving through and just hydrating me on a molecular level. Now you're bringing this water to my attention. That's already, it's you can charge it with what your intention is when you drink it, but now it's already up here. This has really got my interest. So I'm excited. So one of my questions I have for you is, what's the difference between this machine and all those other Amazon models out there that are selling hydrogen water or pH water?
I'm wondering if, even before we go to that question, if we just look at what this water's doing as opposed to all the other waters.
Let's go
right?
there. Let's go there.
Why drink this water as opposed to, you were saying up here on the farm you have amazing well water, or there's various like essential waters out there that people are spending, good money on. So why this water? So do you want to share on that?
So you were showing us this machine when you first got here that tests the electrical current in the water.
Yeah, so we can go there. So first of all, I would just kind of ask some questions like, did you know the water you're drinking can be inflammatory or anti-inflammatory? Like, did you know that?
I had no idea.
Did you know that?
No, I did not today.
Okay.
I was today years old when I heard that.
Okay. Did you know the water you're drinking can give you energy, or it can actually be slowly taking energy from you?
Nope, I did not know it could take.
Okay.
Not until I drank this water, I had no idea.
Exactly. So we can actually measure that with a chemist tool that's been around for about 100 years. It's called a Milwaukee ORP meter. Now, for anyone listening, I'm not saying this is the end-all be-all test when it comes to water. However, it is definitely something you should be checking. It's something you should be aware of, especially if you deal with any type of health issues or your health is not where it should be. This is the number one thing to be looking at. So this tool right here, it's a Milwaukee ORP meter, and it simply measures the millivoltage in water. So it's measuring a liquid's potential to reduce oxidation in the body. So going back to what we're saying, the water can either be giving you energy, taking energy, it can be oxidizing you or anti-oxidizing you. So we just take this wand and we can put it in a water. Do you want me to actually do this right now?
Yeah, show us what that looks like.
Okay, so we're just going to take this and let me just throw it out.
Can I
real
help in
quick.
any way?
No, I'm good. Okay, so Pete has well water here on this property. And with this meter, what we're hoping for is a negative charge. So we're going to stick it in here.
Should I put it up on this camera?
Put it on this camera too, and we can see it better.
So, there we go. I'll be the holder.
So that's Pete's water.
Okay, so see how it's a positive reading? So this is actually going to be taking energy from the body, oxidizing, aging, inflaming us slowly over time.
Mm-hmm.
Now putting it into this water.
That's
This is the living
water.
This
right?
is called electrolyzed reduced water.
Right, and it's going to negative now.
Yep. So look at that, negative 750-ish.
What is it that it's measuring?
So it's measuring the millivoltage in water. It's measuring whether this liquid is capable of reducing oxidation in your body or if it's actually increasing oxidation.
So when it's negatively charged,
It's negatively charged. It's a good thing.
because that's helping to reduce.
Reduce oxidation, reduce
I think,
inflammation.
what is oxidation? It's rust. I mean, it's literally like rust in your body.
Well, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
rust. Well, it's also like paint that dries on the side of a house. It's not good oxidation. No. So, all right, I love it. So negatively charged, and this happens through the process of.
Electrolysis.
All right, I got it.
Which also nature does. And we actually have a clip we can show here in a little bit. This water is nothing new. This water is ancient healing water. Have you ever heard of blue zones on Earth where people sort of travel to from all over to maybe experience healing water, experience healing food? There's places, I know there's a Netflix documentary that people are really into right now that talks about blue zones. And you can go to Okinawa, Japan. You can go to Nordenau, Germany. You can go to Telacote, Mexico. You can go to the Hunza Valley region in Afghanistan. And this water is naturally occurring.
How is it naturally occurring? I mean, how
So
does
it comes up deep from the aquifers in the earth, and it comes up negative. So you can take this meter. There's this place called Terme di Saturnia in Italy. You can go in the hot springs there and stick the meter in the water, and it'll be negative 400, negative 500. So this water that we're sharing, it's nothing new. It's not like man-made created. This is the way God, nature intended us to be drinking water.
They figured out how to create it.
Harness what Mother Nature's already doing, essentially.
And I'm just going to go there and say, I don't know if they did figure out how to create it after we've polluted and traumatized the water.
Right.
You know, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome. So some of the benefits are arthritis, reduction of inflammation in the body. We're talking about ADD, HD being, the focus of the body is
more
coming
energy,
back in.
more creativity, higher consciousness.
Yeah, so really, I mean, Western medicine likes to come in with labels for what's really just low voltage in the body. There's this doctor, Dr. Jerry Tennant, and he talks about how you have to look at the body like an electrician would versus a physician. So yeah, we can come in with these labels of Crohn's and autoimmune issues and, I mean, even diabetes, arthritis, all sorts of things. Low voltage manifests health conditions in all different ways in the body. So when you start drinking this water, you may notice different things than I notice. Jai may notice different things than what I notice, because we're all different. And when this water is extremely smart, it knows where to go in the body and knows how to help you.
You know what that's reminding me of when you say that, how the body works, the water works with the body and it meets it where it needs to be met. It's very similar to the CBD that we're producing up here. It's the CBD production out of cannabis, because the body has a natural cannabinoid system that overlays our nervous system. And when we take, the properly grown CBD, it goes in and it finds a relationship with where you need to be lifted and where you need to be smoothed out. Since I got into growing CBD and using, CBD, it sounds like it's in the same category of having the body work for itself naturally, being supported where it needs to be supported. I love it. So,
Yeah, I love that. And it makes me curious too. It's like, how can these two sort of partner together, and what kind of benefits can you experience when you're doing this and this?
We're going to need to do a water CBD podcast or event up here on the farm.
love
That's for
it.
sure. We
Yeah.
can do that. So, did you say you have something that you wanted to talk
play
about?
it. Let's play it, and then we can kind of talk about some things in it.
Okay. Can you want to preface this with anything or?
So, I mean, a lot of people will ask, like, is this natural? I mean, what about spring water? What about well water? Well water and spring water, I mean, they definitely can tend to be cleaner. However, as the Japanese would say, it's dead water. Spring water here on the planet is not what it used to be, especially here in the U.S., where we use things like pesticides and hormones and just all sorts of things.
Pharmaceuticals like going into the
Yeah.
Unless, of
the
course,
water
you're
supply.
privy, you have access to aquifers, natural aquifers, which not.
Yeah, so
many-
I mean, unless you live in a blue zone or something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, let's play this.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
Thing that people go, well, how can you say this is natural when it's using electricity? Well, electricity is a natural process. I mean, when Benjamin Franklin stuck that thing on a key, now they're finding out the Egyptians may have had it. Basically, what happens is when you're at the ocean and you watch this magnificent electrical storm and you like feel energized and everything feels great and it looks great, you're like, oh, I feel good. Basically, what's happening is you're creating a natural process where you're getting a massive body of water that has become electrolyzed and reduced. Most people don't understand that the big issue with acid rain is in every single storm cloud, when there's an electrical storm up there, it is electrifying and electrolyzing the rainwater, increasing oxygen, increasing hydrogen, increasing the hydroxyl for the water as it rains down on the earth. The problem today is it's all acid rain. And people are like, well, acid rain is normal. No, that is something that humans have done to the planet. So what is actually going on? You talk about hydrogen and oxygen. There is a process where when you take water, if you add enough electricity to it to break the covalent bonds holding the hydrogen and oxygen together, you get molecular hydrogen, active oxygen, and hydroxyl ions. In a water that is so excited and separated that it will actually create hypermobility. That's what lets it get into the cells. The reason that that's important is you produce energy in what's called the mitochondria, which is 34 to 6 ATP. When you oxidize pyruvate and crosses, see all the H's? Those H's indicate the amount of hydrogen. There's adding water, they're adding O2, they're adding electrons, they're adding hydrogens. You create this Krebs cycle that produces energy. Well, in Otto Warburg's research, he showed that if you can decrease a cell's oxygen level by 35% for 48 hours, you shut down this Krebs cycle and you start to burn glycolysis. And that became the first technical definition of a cancer cell, is when the body is not using the Krebs cycle correctly.
So when our voltage drops low enough, that's what allows cancer to start manifesting in the body. This information is just...
Sorry. Let me just kill that. Sorry about that. Yep.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's starting to make more and more sense to me as
Yep.
I'm hearing this, and it's taken me several weeks, if not over a month or
That's
so.
okay.
Yeah, it takes time.
I need to understand more and more how this works.
This
So,
goes against sort of our conditioning of everything we've been led to believe, that water's just water, and as long as it's clean, as long as it's purified, we're good to go, and that couldn't be further from the truth. We're literally water beings. We're 99% water on a molecular level, and when you start changing your water to structured water that's giving you energy, giving voltage, you're changing the very foundation of what your body's made of, and it starts to shift everything emotionally, physically.
Yeah, and I even want to add to that what she said, and that we could absorb. You know,
Yes.
that we, like, most of the water we're not even absorbing. It's just,
Yep. So
Yeah.
our cells have what's called an aquaporin. So aqua pour in, like you break down the etymology of it, like water pouring into our cells. This aquaporin has a positive charge. So what happens when you're drinking positively charged water? Think about a magnet. When you take two positive ends to a magnet, it resists, it repels. so many people are drinking water that's almost being repelled by their cells. When you switch to negatively charged water, that aquaporin is like it starts sucking up the water and you start detoxifying on a cellular level.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying the water we've been drinking previously has absolutely 100% not been absorbing into our body. We would be dead if that were
Sure.
the case, right? But when you switch to a water that's more bioavailable, it's giving you what your body needs, and you're no longer sort of just going through the motions and existing. You start thriving. Our DNA is held together by hydrogen bonds. When you start drinking water that's rich in molecular hydrogen, what does that do to your DNA? It starts to activate dormant DNA. Like they say we have all this junk DNA. What if that DNA is just dormant because we're not giving our body what it needs?
It reminds me of the movie Lucy. You remember when she had that crazy drug that broke in her stomach and she had 100% of her brain capacity ended up being activated, except this is through hydrogen water.
I feel like the circuit breakers flipped on in my
100%
body
is
when I
exactly
started
what it felt
drinking
like.
this water.
And I see it happening to people. I mean, like
Yes.
you literally see people. It's like they get flipped on, and you can see like throughout their body. It's like wow, it's like a plant that hadn't been watered for so long, and it's like
They come
it comes
alive.
Here's what I
Yeah.
like about this, all right, from my personal host perspective, right? And I've been doing, I've been interested in the sacred mystery since I was born, and then I got sucked into life and, punishment, reward, and trauma and all that. But then I came back full circle in my 20s, and I started falling down the rabbit hole of many different gurus who were teachers that were showing different ways to connect with the sacred mystery. What I like about this is, and what I like about what you two are doing is you are out here genuinely, and I'm starting to feel this now, to help people for the sake of helping people. Because if you understand from the different modalities that I've studied with, that everything is an extension of yourself. Really, the best thing you could possibly do is be of service to other people. So that's what I think is really resonating with me and what you two are doing. So I love it.
Thank you for saying that, and thank you for seeing that. I mean, when I woke up to this, like I lost sleep. Like at nights, like it was just, I was like, how does no one know about this? I see why they're dealing with this. Like I see why this person's going through this, and it's like no matter what they do, nothing's helping because they're not drinking the right kind of water. And that's truly what it is. It's like, I'm not here on this high and mighty pedestal of like, I know this secret, sacred information about water. And
you want to do it because you're trying to help people. And the more you help people, the better you feel about yourself.
The better we feel about ourselves, and really, the better the planet is.
Sure.
Like when we're lifting it, and this is like maybe another place to go with this, because there's so many things that the water helps us with, but it does. We were talking about this before we turned the cameras on. It lifts consciousness and it connects consciousness. And I think I've been drinking this water for about 5 months now. In this short amount of time of drinking the water, the divine connections that I've been making and the way the water interplays and brings people in has been mind blowing.
Yeah, I love it.
almost like mycelium, like how kind of mushrooms are. When I started drinking this water, I was like, am I microdosing right now?
Yeah.
It was just like...
That's another show.
Yeah.
We're going to go there too. It might also to understand, and this, I would like to kind of move into like you got me at hello here, but this is also the way that this pH, the way this water is being assisted or enhanced. It also could be used for a myriad of other things like cleaning supplies. And could you tell us just a little bit about like outside of how good it is for our health, how it also can be used?
Yeah. So, I mean, the system that creates this water is a continuous electrolysis water generator, and they have been used in Japanese hospitals since the 70s. And we're really sort of just talking about the drinking aspect here. I had no idea when I got this system that it came with other different types of water that it can produce. So as a bonus feature to the system, I mean, one of my favorite types of water is called 2.5 electrolyzed hypochlorous acid. Now, this is 10 times stronger than bleach, but yet safe enough to use in your mouth as mouthwash.
I remember when Jen showed it to me, she's like, does this smell like bleach? And sure enough, after being in the water, and she charged it to a 9, I guess is where you wanted to go.
2.5.
A 2.5.
2.5 that she's speaking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually smelled a little bit of like a bleachy smell to it. That was an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah, so this type of water can be used to clean and sanitize with. It actually speeds up wound healing as well. So this was used back in the early 1900s to literally, it treats eczema, psoriasis. If you cut yourself open, it literally rapidly heals wounds.
Wow.
So it's such an amazing asset to sort of have in your household. Like if something ever happens, one time I burnt my hand on a cast iron pan. So there's the 2.5, and then as a byproduct of creating 2.5 is 11.5. So 11.5 is extremely anti-inflammatory. I stuck my burning hand in that 11.5 and it rapidly pulled the inflammation from my hand. You can also use it to take pesticides off your fruits and vegetables.
Oh yeah, I saw this when Jen was soaking the fruits, and the water turned like yellow around the fruit that was
the tomato water. Yeah, and then the food has the proper true food flavor, which is another thing. We have forgotten what food tastes like. So when you take a grape, let's just say, that you've put into the 11.5 water and one that you just rinsed in regular water, you can taste the chemical, the wax on the grape that has not been washed in 11.5. And 11.5 water, it's like, this is what grape is supposed to taste like.
Right.
But we don't know. The same way we don't remember how it's supposed to be in our bodies until we start drinking this water. We forget what food is supposed to taste like, until we start drinking
Everybody
this water.
needs to have one of these darn machines in their houses.
Yeah, it's they're definitely an investment. A lot of people don't realize like all that you can do with this and how this is actually going to save you so much money over time. Like not needing to buy veggie wash anymore, not needing to buy Clorox and Windex and sort of these chemicals.
And chemicals, and then even beauty products. It makes a beauty water that's pH'd to our skin. I use it, especially with curly hair, it conditions the hair. I have teenage daughters who they only use this beauty water now. They're like, we don't even need the excess products.
I think that's an awesome rundown and intro to this, and I feel so much more informed than I was before. And I'm telling you, the water's hitting different today. I'm drinking
you drank
this
that pretty fast.
Yeah, I've been drinking a gallon a day, but it's and it's good to flush the system. But if you can actually bring your water up to the next level, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's not about how much you're drinking; it's about how much of the water you're drinking you're actually absorbing. Because kind of bringing it back full circle, when I was in the military, I was carrying around a gallon of water, but it wasn't the right kind of water. So when you start drinking a gallon of water, of structured, electrolyzed, reduced water, it just starts to shift so much.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Jen, I thank you for bringing Liz in today. That's been an amazing pleasure, Liz. It's been awesome meeting you.
Thank you for taking this time with us.
Back and we can do a presentation up here at Blue Star with the water and the CBD.
And if anyone wants to learn more about this, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. My handle is Water Being, and that's BEEING.
I love it. All right, thank you. And you can also click on the link, the like button, and the subscribe and follow. We love you guys. You're growing with us so quickly, and I feel so empowered to be able to share this enlightening information on all different levels. We have an event coming up on May 11th. There's still some seats available for that. We're going to be talking about connection to the earth, about healing the body from within through trauma with Andy Pollack, connecting with Kevin Tincher in an indigenous level through his 35-year herbology experience, and we're also going to be doing sound healing and a farm tour. So I think we'll also try to have some of the water up here as well, if that's okay with you guys, so we can do some samples and get people hyped up and involved with this. So thank you guys both so much. Thank you, Jen, Satnam, and thank you to you all out there too. So thanks again for subscribing and liking. This is Pete D'Onofrio, Big Talk from the Little House. Satnam.